Explore how geography affects where people live. Do you live in a city or a large town? The chances are good that you do. Today, more than 6 out of every 10 Americans live in a metropolitan area. A metropolitan area is made up of one or more cities, along with nearby suburbs and towns. The United States has become a nation of cities, but it wasn't always that way. Only 100 years ago, most Americans lived on farms and in small towns. Historians say that the United States was born in the country but moved to the city. Where did all of those cities come from? And why are they located where they are? The answers have to do with geography. Physical geography. Geography is the study of our natural surroundings and of the way humans interact with their environment. The physical features of our environment help to explain why cities are located where they are. To see why this is so, try this little game. Look at the physical features in the U.S. maps and Social Studies Alive, America's Past. Now, try playing a game of pin the tail on the donkey. Imagine you have lots of pins to stick in the map of the United States on page 17. Your task is to put the pins where you think people would build cities. Your only clues are the features you see on the map. When you study the map, can you predict where cities would show up? Think about this question for a moment before you read on. So let's take a look at the map that they're talking about, y'all. Oh, here, let me go back and get it. Not there, but let me get it this way. And I can make the map bigger. Why did it do that to me? Sorry, y'all. Okay, here we are. I'm going to make this map bigger. All right, now if you were going to just put push pins all over the place, where would you choose to live? I would probably choose to live right here on the coast at the beach because I love the beach. If you love the mountains, you might choose to live in the mountains. Here are the Great Lakes, and so that would be a good source of fresh water. If you wanted to be a farmer, you might live in the Great Plains where it's very flat. If you loved a lot of rain, the climate up here is very rainy right on the coast. So that's kind of what they're talking about putting a push pin in there. All right. And now it says, if you imagine putting pins near coasts and rivers, give yourself an A. You won't find many cities in deserts or on mountaintops, but you will find lots of cities near the sea or along rivers. In fact, 43 of the 50 state capitals in the United States are located on a riverbank or a coast. Why are coasts and rivers so important? One major reason is transportation. Cities grow up where people can start businesses and buy and sell goods. Often they want to sell their goods to people in other locations. Boats and ships are a good way to get goods from place to place. In the United States, being near waterways was especially important before roadways and highways, or railroads and highways, connected cities with one another. In 1800, the nation's three largest cities were New York, Boston, and Philadelphia. All three were busy seaports on the East Coast. As Americans moved west, new cities often grew up near rivers. A good example is Cincinnati, Ohio. Cincinnati is located on the Ohio River. During the 1860s, many settlers traveling along the river passed through Cincinnati. Enough of them stayed to make Cincinnati the largest city beyond the East Coast during this time. Other major cities grew up along the mighty Mississippi. You can find these cities by tracing the Mississippi on a map with your finger. Starting from the north, you will pass through cities such as Minneapolis, St. Louis, Memphis, and New Orleans. And they mean like this. Right here's the Mississippi. You'll find cities all along there. All right. Let's see. For example, let's see. When a city isn't near water, it's probably near some other important natural resource. For example, the discovery of gold brought people flocking to Denver, Colorado, Sacramento, California, and Juneau, Alaska. Today's cities are the capital cities of their states. In Texas, black gold, which is crude oil, helped make Houston one of the nation's biggest cities in the second half of the 20th century. Houston is an inland seaport, but is also located near rich oil fields. Houston's population boomed in part because of the growing demand for oil.